Hello, Internet. Today we are taking on Scorn of Gilgamesh. Man, what a annoying and frustrating fight. I absolutely gotta say that first. All the elemental shenanigans, it's just really crazy to deal with. So it's no wonder that most of the strategies we're going to see on this fight are either going to be cheesing it with the Rainbow Whip or just killing him from 80%. So you would deal with phase 1 and then just kill him. And if you have those strategies available to you, just do that, honestly. Save yourself the headache. It is an annoying one. Alright, so what we're going to do, though, is we're going to take Gilgamesh down from 60% instead of 80%. So we are going to cross and deal with one threshold, and this strategy might be useful to you in the sense, so maybe you have Esther but she's not as geared, or maybe you can't reliably spark chain, or whatever it is, a 60% kill is going to be a lot more feasible and comfortable than an 80% kill for some people. And the star of the show that lets us do that is Gladiolus. He's a very underestimated tank, I really gotta say. His Royal Guard ability really opens the door for a lot of cool stuff. So how he helps us here is we can just ignore all the elemental shenanigans in both phase 1 and phase 2. And Gladiolus does that because all of the phase 1 elemental attacks are single target. And Gladiolus's cover is a single target cover, but mitigates 75% damage. So he's basically just going to eat all the elemental attacks and laugh at them, as he basically takes nothing, which is great. Now, you may be wondering then, okay, so we're not physical covering and we're not magical covering, so what do we do then about all of Gilgamesh's random hybrid attacks? And the answer is eat them. And to do that, we have Sylvie, MS Nicole, and Lauren. So we're packing mitigation and breaks out the wazoo, and everybody else is just gonna take all of Gilgamesh's stuff, and they can do it in stride because of all of our tools we have with this team. So I'm not gonna go over the nitty-gritty of our gear. I'm gonna have an FFBE Equip link if you really want to mull over everything they're wearing. I'm also going to have a companion text guide to this video linked to the testimonial page of the fight on the wiki. So if you want some more of the nitty-gritty details, feel free to go check that out. Only other things I'm going to really mention about gear is the mission stuff. Yeah. Actually, let me check. What are the missions again? I think one of them is do 8 limit breaks, which we can do. We can survive phase 1 indefinitely, no problem. So we have all the time we need in the world to do 8 limit bursts. Oh yeah, so the other one we need to do is ice, lightning, and dark damage, 2 more. So we take care of that. My Esther is packed with Deathbringer, which is really good for this fight actually, because it's an elemental weapon. So it can do damage to Gilgamesh without having an imbue first. It's dark element, so it doesn't mess with any of the elemental lockout stuff, and it comes with Maneater. So it's actually a really good weapon for this fight. The way we're doing lightning is we have Esther, and she's going to imbue herself, so lightning and dark are given in this fight, and we're going to do the ice elemental attack with offensive items. So make sure you are packing some Antarctic winds for your items. So what we're going to do is we're going to get Gilgamesh close to 60%. We're going to use the items to stun him, basically. We get a free turn. So when you use offensive items on the 3rd turn, you use an offensive item, you get a free turn from that point. So it's not really an OTK from 60%. It's actually a TTK, a 2-turn kill, because we're going to get a free turn by that item. But we're going to use that item to fulfill our ice elemental damage for the mission. And I believe that's all there is to really talk about before the fight. So let's go ahead and dive in. Now you're going to want to find a similarly geared Esther to yours. Ideally, if you can find one with Diabolos on, that would be ideal for some man killer. I do happen to have one at the top here. Ideally, also, what we're looking for is plus limit break damage. So I'm just going to check the abilities. Okay, so he has War Goddess's Insignia for some boosted limit break damage, so that's actually perfect. Almost like they're specifically geared for this fight. Okay. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and dive in here. Alright, so like a lot of fights, turn 1 is usually one of the most difficult. So we're going to try to get set up in our rotations and get stabilized. And embarrassingly, I just went in the wrong fight. We're going to take on Scorn of the Beast of the Dark later. So we're just going to give up. We're not doing them. We're doing Gilgamesh. I also wasted 20 energy. Alright, that's alright though. So that really messed me up though, because I just lost my friend Esther. Alright, let me look at this one. So this one has plus limit break damage. And some good attack, but no man killers. I think that's alright though. We'll go with this. Yeah, I'm just double checking. I'm on Scorn of Gilgamesh. Alright. I'm not doing that again. Alright. Okay, so we're going to focus on just getting set up here. So the first thing we need to do actually is we need to debuff, or I'm sorry, dispel Gilgamesh. He's got all these buffs on him. We're going to get rid of all that. So Lauren, the first thing she's going to do is use pressure. Get rid of all his buffs. Then on Sylvie, we're going to use her attack and magic break on Hop to the Rescue. That comes with a defense buff. We're going to hand that to... let's give that to Nicole. And the other thing we need is spring cleaning. So like I said, we're not doing any elemental lockouts. And so a lot of these attacks are coming with status ailments. So we're going to need Sylvie's status ailment protection for those. Alright, Gladiolus. He is going to cover. Now I need to figure out which one of my Esthers is going to start attacking and which one is going to provoke. I think I'll use Friend Esther to provoke. So I'll have Gladiolus cover her, and before I forget, she will provoke. So we're set up there. MS Nicole, we're just going to win his powerful buffs up first. So we're going to take Heroic Stance, and we're going to take Barrier Stance. We want that 40% mitigation, since we don't have any other mitigations up right now. So Sylvie's going to take care of those for us next turn. Alright, so my Esther, I think she can just go ahead and start attacking. Let's build some limit break. Yeah, so Gilgamesh starts off with some damage mitigations up on him, so you really can't even hurt him for the first few turns anyway. Alright, so if you notice, Esther 2, who was provoking, did eat the Fire Elemental Mana Drain. So that is the one element that we are actually concerned about, that we're going to lock out. So that's why we had Gladiolus with Ifrit. So he's going to be casting Fire on some of these turns to lock out that Mana Drain. So that's the one element we're going to take care of on some turns. Alright, so with Sylvie, we got triple cast. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get up all the good stuff. So we're going to get break, protection, and physical and magical mitigation. So now we are really rolling. Gilgamesh, even though he's hitting everybody with his hybrid attacks with triple mitigations up, we're easily going to survive this stuff. Now Nicole, he is our healer, so he's going to need, from now on out, Fortune Stance always needs to be up. Since we do still have mitigation on from Barrier Stance, so go ahead and get Courageous Stance for Mana Battery. And now Lauren doesn't have a lot to do in this fight. She is going to be a Dispel and Break Monkey, and Gilgamesh counters stuff with uncoverable fixed attacks. So we're not going to take needless damage. She's going to hardly be able to do anything else anyway. So she's going to defend on off turns. Alright, so my Esther... I'm just going to go ahead and... She can't do much damage, but she needs one ability in to get her limit break ready. So she's going to do that so she can limit break. Alright, Esther 2 has no mana because she got drained, so there's really nothing for her to do. Her provoke is a 2-turn provoke, and it's still active, so she's just going to defend to get some mana back. Alright, here come all the elemental attacks and Gladiolus, and he just laughs at it. That's awesome. Alright, so now we're going to swap the provoking Esters so that Esther 2 has a chance to use some of her mana now to build her limit break. So Gladiolus is going to cover my Esther. My Esther is going to take the provoke roll for these next 2 turns and eat the mana drain as a result. Sylvie... Just double checking. Man, I have a hard time with these long presses. Come on. I'm just trying to look at Gilgamesh. Here we go. Alright, so he has a break for another turn, and this turn he still has mitigations on, so that's fine. So Sylvie is going to reapply Amulet Protection and get us a barrier on. And now MS Nicole is just in a swapping rotation of Fortune Stance, Courageous Stance, and Impregnable Stance, and Mana Restorative. So it's the beginning of the fight. We have plenty of mana, actually, so I'm going to actually do Iron Stance just to push limit break gauges for everybody, because we need 8 limit breaks cast before we finish this fight. Alright, so Lauren, this is turn 3. No breaks need to be reapplied or anything, so she has nothing to do. She's just gonna chill. And Esther 2... Do I need to imbue her? So Esther 2, you know what? I really should have checked her weapon. Ultimate weapon. Alright, there's no element on that. That could have been bad for me if it had if it had fire or something on for phase 2. That could have been real bad. Okay. So I could just do Bolting Strike. It's going to be completely resisted, but that's just in the interest of building limit break. I think that's fine. I have plenty of time. Like I said, we can infinitely survive phase 1 here. So we can take all the time we need to build limit breaks and use them. So the fact that my Esters right now are doing no damage, it's fine. We have plenty of time to whittle them down. Gladio's done with all his counters. Alright, so here we see Gilgamesh has Actually, I don't know if they wore off or if he dispelled. I think he dispelled the breaks he had on him, and he put up break protection. So we need to dispel his break protection, and we need to apply new breaks. So that's where Sylvie and Lauren just kind of flip-flop. So Sylvie's Hop to the Rescue is on cooldown, but it perfectly matches the cooldown of Lauren's General's Manifesto. So they can just take turns with Dispel and Break Duty. So this turn, Sylvie's going to Dispel. Lauren's going to get that break on. Alright, now Gladiolus is going to do fire. We're going to lock out that Mana Drain. MS Nicole, he's just in a flip-floppy rotation, so this turn is Fortune Stance and Courageous Stance. Alright, and then my Esther, just double checking, should have Provoke active. She does. So she can Limit Break. Get some damage in here. Hopefully I'll get enough Limit Break crystals on Esther too, so she can also Limit Break. And no, I did not look out. That's fine though. So I'm just going to cast one Bolting Strike from her, so she can Limit Break next turn. Alright, so that's one Limit Break cast. Now in our kill turn, we're guaranteed to have 2 Limit Breaks that turn. Because that's how we're going to kill him with our Essers. So we need 6 Limit Breaks cast before kill turn. So we got one of those 6 done. Alright, it's turn 5. So what do we got here? I think we want Sylvie. Yeah, she's going to recast our mitigations. So we're going to get Protective Vines and Protective Petals, so that Gilgamesh is just going to be tickling us. Gladiolus, now who do I want provoking? So I want Esther 2 to go ahead and cast her Limit Break. So that means my Esther is going to do Provoke Duty again. And this Nicole. Do I want to do... We're not hurting for mana, so I'm going to go ahead and push Limit Break again. So I'm going to do Impregnable Stance and Iron Stance to push gauges. Alright, Lauren on turn 5. We're not breaking or dispelling. No, so she's just going to defend. This Esther is going to Limit Break. Again, all that damage is resisted. We know that. It's fine. We're just getting Limit Breaks in for the mission. So that's 2 Limit Breaks down. We just need 4 more. So we have plenty of time to get 4 more Limit Breaks in. So now we're going to start thinking about actually doing some damage. Okay, so we're on turn 6. So we are going to want Break Reduction back up, and I guess what we're going to do is just get another barrier on. So do Gracious Knight and Growing Defense. Alright. Gladiolus, he covered last turn, so we're going to do fire. Going to lock out that Mana Drain for a turn. Nicole, going to get Fortune Stance and Courageous Stance. I think, let me double check. Yeah. And Lauren, we're not breaking or dispelling, so she's just going to chill. My Esther has Provoke on. But unfortunately has no mana. That's alright. So she could just auto attack. Or no, because if I auto attack, she's going to take a counter. Even though Gladiolus is covering her, the counter attacks are fixed, so they go through covers. So there's no need to take damage. And the auto is really not going to help much here. So Esther 2 limit break last turn. So we're going to finally imbue Esther 2 here. So we're going to use Stormbrand. And actually, let's set her up to do more damage. Then we're going to do Combat Overdrive, then Stormbrand, then Demagnetizing Strike. And this is one thing to be mindful of the counters, especially for bringing damage that's not Esther. So Esther is good for this fight because she has 30% innate evade, so there's a good chance that a lot of Gilgamesh's counters miss her. But sometimes they don't. So if you see Esther 2 right now is actually low on hit points, but that's because she took 2 counters from him. So that is something you want to watch out for. Alright, so we are on turn 7. Should be another break turn. I swear one day I'm going to get this stupid hard press down. Okay. So he has reduction on, and his breaks are gone. So Sylvie's... Yep, so here we go. Hop to the Rescue, his cooldown just came up, so that's how we see how Lauren and Sylvie just swap their duties. So Lauren is now dispelling, and Sylvie is going to break. And I think we need our status ailment back up. Alright, Gladiolus. We're going to have him cover... I guess we'll do SR1. Yeah, she needs to provoke again. My SR is actually the one with all the man killer, so maybe I should be swapping who's taking these mana drains, but that's alright. Like I said, we have plenty of time to whittle Gilgamesh down, so we're not too worried. Okay, so Nicole, I lost track of his rotation. Where are we? We're turn 7, so I think he needs to... Oh, wait, do we... I think I'm going to do impregnable stance and do mana restorative stance. Alright, now Esther 2, I really should have changed up who's getting covered by Gladiolus, because this Esther is actually set up with triple cast and ready to do some stuff. See, the problem is she's low in health, and so I would run the risk of her getting killed by counters. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So what I am going to do, I'm just going to stick with double cast. She's just going to Combat Overdrive and just stick with Stormbrand. So at most, he's only going to take 1 counter. Yeah. So that's fine. Alright, we are on turn 8. Okay, so I've kind of mismanaged my turns here. I really should have last turn recasted Nicole's stuff, so this turn he could bump our mana. Actually, you know what? I still might do that. Well, no, I'm just going to keep to our rotation. So we're going to do Fortune and Courageous. Alright. Let's check our buffs here. We need a... We're going to do another Break Protection. I'm going to get a barrier on. Growing Defense. No, actually, we're going to redo mitigations. Now, I think I need to lock out fire this turn. Because I need my Esters actually to get kind of in sync at some point. Lauren. Her limit break is ready, but we're going to use that later. So we're going to head and just defend with Lauren. And my Esther, unfortunately, can't do anything. So she'll just guard. Other Esther... You know what, I'm not going to double cast. I'm just going to do just Combat Overdrive. That way she's not going to take a counter. And so she'll get this turn to heal up some. Alright, so Gladiolus, his counter, his cover's still up for a turn. So we're going to have him lock fire again. Now this way, our Esters can kind of get in sync and get ready to do some damage. So now they're going to both Shock Embrace. Oh man. So I know, before I do that actually, I'm going to use Nicole. This last turn, yeah, we got Fortune Stance on. So this turn, we're just going to Impregnable and then Mana Restorative. So that should give my Esther the mana she needs to Shock Embrace and Combat Overdrive. Alright, this Esther... Now, she Combat Overdrived last turn. Actually. Ugh. I messed up. Oh, my Esther cannot do that because Gladiolus used fire. Or Gladiolus's cover is still on my Esther, but my Esther's Provoke ran out. So these long taps will work. Alright, yeah. My Esther has to stasis bound. That's unfortunate. Alright, this Esther... Alright, I promise we're going to get some damage in eventually. We're going to get this done. So she can take one turn of a counter, that's fine. Lauren's got nothing to do this fight, so she will, this turn. So she will guard. Alright. So Sylvie's going to get us with some break protection and some barrier. Okay. Now, Gladiolus needs... Yeah, so he has to redo cover. My Esther provoked last turn, so we'll do his cover on my Esther. My Esters can finally kind of do things together. So they're both going to shock embrace. Maybe order doesn't matter. Yeah, shock embrace, combat overdrive. Alright, this should be a break turn. Yep, so breaks are gone and he has resistances up. So Sylvie's break is on cooldown, so she's going to be on dispel duty. And Lauren's General Manifesto is back up, so she is on break duty. So we dispel and we break. And Nicole needs to keep stances on. Alright, so now what we want to do is kind of push Gilgamesh close to 80% if we can. So the way we're going to do that is my Esther here is going to limit break because she has no mana, and this Esther is going to just demagnetizing strike. So we want to get close to 80%, but we don't want to pass it. Alright, so we might need to pull the trigger here to swap to phase 2. Alright. Let me just make sure I have the turns to do that. I do not. So because we crossed the threshold, we're gonna take Bushido Freedom. Everyone's gonna get dispelled. That's not death immune, and the death is going to land on MS Nicole. He's taking the death because Sylvie has Genji Shield, Gladiolus has Safety Bit, and it goes by order. So it tries to kill slot 1, then slot 2, then slot 3. So MS Nicole, not being immune to death in slot 3, is going to die. I think we can do this though. So Sylvie's going to re-raise Nicole. Nicole is going to get the good stuff up. Everyone actually has decent health right now, but I think I might still want... Oh, we still have him. We still have a round of regen. That's perfect. I think we're going to recover from this just fine, even though we crossed the threshold earlier than we wanted. So we're going to... just going to hit the good stuff again. We're going to hit Heroic and Barrier Stance so that everybody has 40% mitigation. It might be a little bit of a waste because it's getting dispelled from half the team next turn, but it's going to help the rest of the team members survive without Sylvie's physical and magical mitigation. Because that's the problem I have, is that this turn she needs to recast her mitigations because those fell off. So we're going to be hurting next turn. Alright, so somebody needs to provoke. Yeah, so who's going to provoke? I might be in more trouble than I thought. Alright, well, so we're actually in a spot where this is unwinnable at this point. Because my Esters crossed the threshold on the same turn that Provoke wore off. So, yeah, that is a not compatible situation. Without Provoke, his attacks are going to kind of go everywhere. Well, no, they cross the threshold. Let me check the unofficial source of information. Right, none of this is accurate. So when we cross the threshold, if all he does is Bushido Freedom, then it might not matter that I don't have a Provoke up. But if he does some like auto attacks, then it really does matter. Alright, so hold on here. So when we cross the 80% threshold, he does Gilgamesh Transform, Reverses Way of Thinking, Bushido Freedom 1, Genji Shield, and a new weapon. So if I'm reading that right, I think I might be fine. Okay. So I'm going to have Gladiolus. He's just going to cover Esther 2, since she's the one with mana. She will do the provoking next turn. And Lauren is going to chill. Yeah, there's nothing useful for her to do. Now, in most situations, what I would really do here is just reset. I'm going to try to not to reset my videos, but if we really get stuck in a position where we have no choice, we will. It's a mechanic that, you know, is there for us to use, so we'll take advantage of it when we need to. But in this situation, we're going to try to do without. So we're going to cross our fingers and hope nobody dies. Okay, so he did hit us something, but MS Nicole's barrier stance was enough for us to handle it, so that's fine. It's perfect. Alright, so yeah, everybody took the Dispel, so we're just kind of resetting at this point, and we crossed the threshold. So now we're in phase 2. So the good thing is we don't have to worry about any more mana drain, so that's useful. The bad thing is we're going to be taking extra hybrid attacks, so we're going to be taking more damage as a party. But the other good thing is that I don't think Sylvie needs to worry about casting any more status ailment resistance, since this fight we're not, or this phase rather, we're not doing any of the elemental walkouts. So we're not taking any of the elemental counters. Right, yeah, so we should be taking no status ailments. Alright. So first things first, Sylvie definitely has to get Protective Vines and Protective Petals back up. Gladiolus, he did cover. Yeah, so the ones who are death immune do not take the Dispel. So he's actually fine, although there is nothing else for him to do. Now that he doesn't have to cast fire anymore, his only job at this point is covering. So if I wanted to, I could change the Esther. So right now it's Esther 2, our friend Esther, as being covered. Do I want to change that? I don't think it matters. Actually, I think I am going to change it. I'm going to use that Esther to go ahead and get that Limit Break cast. So I'm going to swap. I'm going to have my Esther do the provoking. Alright, now we should be good on Limit Breaks, because on the final turn I can also use Gladiolus' Limit Break. I can't use his Limit Break now because there's a Provoke on it, and he can't do the Provoking in this fight. But on the last turn it's fine, so that can count towards one of our Limit Breaks. So this should be Limit Break number 4. And Lauren should have nothing to do, so she can just chill. And Nicole was just re-raised. So the first thing he needs to do is get defenses back up. So we're going to do Fortune Stance and Impregnable Stance. So now his rotation's kind of flipped. Now that he took a death and re-raised. Alright, so at this point, we should be fine. We're just going to push Gilgamesh to 60%. And then we're going to kill him. Now, the one thing I've completely neglected at this point, which I'm glad I just remembered because this would have been awful, is we need to use our items. We need 3 turns of items. So that needs to get done. But we have plenty of time for that. So this should be... Yeah, this is a break turn. But he doesn't have break resistance on. So I don't need to dispel. Alright, so... Yeah, I forgot. I'm surprised. I don't know if it's because of the way across the threshold, but this should be the turn that I need to dispel and re-break. But I have nothing to dispel. So... For that reason, I'm going to re-break with Lauren's Limit Break. Just in case he decides next turn he's going to want to dispel his breaks and put up break protection. Alright, so Sylvie in that sense. So the good thing is we don't need status protection anymore. So what we're going to do is get barriers on. Since we are taking more damage, we're going to want barrier up whenever we can. Alright. Alright, so my Esther still has Provoke on, but Gladiolus, he literally has nothing to do, so he'll just guard every turn. Because he's, as you'll also see, he's not taking damage. So he doesn't need to guard or anything. So he just cover every turn. Alright, Nicole's stances have flipped. So we were doing Fortune and Courageous and then Impregnable and Magic Restorative. But now Fortune Stance and Impregnable Stance are tied together. So he's going to be doing Courageous and Magic Restorative. Alright, now Esther's want to build up limit breaks. So my Esther is covered, so she's not going to take damage. So this is a perfect turn for her to triple cast something. So she's going to get her limit break right back up. Esther 2. Now, even though she has no imbue, so she's going to do no damage. But I still think she takes counters, even if her damage is resisted. So for that reason, I'm only going to double cast. I'm going to double cast Bolting Strike here. Alright, so since I got weirded out by the break rotation, let me just check him. Okay, so break's still on. So we're good. Alright, so Lauren now is going to... We really need this done. So Antarctic Wind. So this is turn 1 on Antarctic Wind. Alright, so Sylvie... And we're going to get her mitigations back online. Gladiolus, just gonna cover. Actually, I need to plan out who gets covered, because this turn someone needs to provoke. I want to have this Esther provoke. I'm going to use mine, because mine, like I said, has the man killers and stuff, so she's going to be doing the more damage. So I'm going to have Gladiolus cover her. And mine, we're going to, let's combat overdrive and demagnetize. Okay. And Nicole is doing impregnable and fortune. Alright, so as you can see, our team does take a lot more punishment now that we're in phase 2. Alright. Man, I really feel off kilter with that break stuff. Alright, so breaks are wearing off this turn, and he has break protection. So this turn needs to be a dispel and break reapplied. So Sylvie's hop to the rescue's up, so we're going to use Lauren to pressure. Lauren is going to hop to the rescue to do break. We're going to give Nicole the extra defense buff. And what else do I need here? Do I need to redo Gracious Knight, or can I get a barrier? I want a barrier if I can. Let me check my buff durations. Sorry, I got 3 turns on Gracious Knight still up. Oh yeah, no question. We do hop to the rescue. Oh, nope. I gotta do that on Nicole. Hop to the rescue, Nicole. And growing defense. There we go. Alright. Alright, so Gladiolus, you can just recover the Esser that is provoking. Alright. Now, do I risk my Esther triple casting? I don't think so. I don't want my Esther to die from counters. Actually, I need to find out if Esther 2 has imbue on. Like I said, I want to start pushing damage, because I'm sick of this fight. I want to kill him, because this is so annoying. All right. No, she's not imbued. Okay. Well, we're gonna take care of that. Combat Overdrive plus Stormbrand. And my Esther, we're not gonna triple cast. I think the risk of her dying to counters is too high. So she's just gonna dual cast. We're gonna do demagnetizing. Because my Esther, actually, she also does not have any imbue on. Oh, but imbue doesn't matter because he's not. Yeah, we don't have resist anyway. Okay. Alright. So let's have them chain a little bit. And Nicole. Yeah, it's time to do Courageous Stance and Magic Restorative. Alright, so here's the challenge we have on phase 2, is that we take so much damage sometimes that our units need to take a breather and defend. So breaks are still active. Actually, so my Esther is really hurt. So she's just going to head and provoke. We're going to have Gladiolus guard her. So that way she's not going to take any damage this turn. Alright, so we need Sylvie to get mitigations back up. Yeah, that would be the safest. Now, I could... Oh, wait, no, yeah. No, that works out. She has triple cast. Yeah, so we're definitely going to get mitigations plus barrier. That barrier really helps us this phase. Alright. Lauren. Yeah, we need item number 2. She might get real low, but she should be able to take a turn. She should be able to defend next turn. Yeah, so we got break on for 3 more turns. So if she's too low, she can take a breather next turn to heal back up. Alright. So Nicole. Yeah, we gotta redo Primeval plus Fortune. This Esther... Yeah, we're just going to triple cast Demagnetizing. She's got full health and a barrier, so she can eat a couple counters. And I really want some damage done here. That Gladio, man, he's so good. He really enables this strategy here. Okay, we're getting close, guys. We're getting close. Alright, so we have 2 items cast, so we don't need to do that again until we're ready to kill him. So we are going to want to start setting that up soon. Alright, so what I would normally do is I would keep trying to whittle him down closer to 60%. I think you've seen enough of the fight how you can survive and do that. At this point, I'm going to really just try to get ready for the 2-turn kill, because we should be able to do that from 69% pretty easy. So alright. Last turn, my Esther provoked. So I think what we're going to do is have both Esthers go ahead and Shock Embrace plus Comet Overdrive. Yeah, her cover is on, so he's going to guard her. Yeah, we don't need to do any break stuff, so Lauren can chill. And Sylvie, I think we need... Yeah, we're gonna do Gracious Knight plus Growing Defense. And Nicole. Is on Courageous Stance and Magic Restorative. Alright, so again, if I were really trying to kill him from 60%, I would take a few more turns to get him closer to that point. But as I said, in the interest of the length of this video, I am accelerating our setup here. Okay, so now we're ready for the 2-turn kill. So my Esters are going to triple cast Demagnetizing. I believe Demagnetizing is their best damage move. Because of Combat Overdrive, they get added modifier, whereas Bolting Strike does not. Okay. And yeah, this would be a break turn. And the question is, no, I don't need to worry about that, because if I fail to kill him in these 2 turns, then it's lost anyway, so I really don't need to worry about doing any of that. So this is the turn. Lauren has to Antarctic Wind. Alright, so that breaks him. So we get our next turn is free. So before I do my other units, I'm going to go ahead and try to Spark Chain this triple cast. I am on my phone here, and I don't have any tricky apps or anything, so I am doing this the old-fashioned way. So let's see if I can get this done here. Gotta psych myself into it. Alright. No, not a spark. Oh well, that was close though. Alright, so our next turn they're going to limit break, and from 42% that should be a pretty comfortable kill. And so in the interest of limit breaks, now that we're not going to be taking any damage, we have all we need to just start limit breaking. So this should easily solve our limit break mission. And if you remember, oh snap! Oh, I forgot we still take we still take counters. All right, so I lucked out there hard. So what I failed to take account of is that that was a break turn. So instead of just throwing caution to the wind and saying, "Oh, let's throw our limit breaks on," I did need to probably wait a turn to do my damage after the fact that that coincided with the turn the break wore off was a big problem. So I should have tried to get Sylvie to reapply her break, which actually I can't do because hers is on cooldown. So the only way I could have got this done was to have Sylvie dispel and Lauren reapply break, and that's what I should have done. So without the break and not treating it the way I should have, my Esther 2 would have died. So she took the counters without breaks active. So that's why she almost died. The only reason why she's alive is because she's awesome. She lucked out and evaded one of those attacks. The killing blow triggered her ability that lets her survive killing blow damage. And that's how we lucked out on that, because Esther is just too amazing for her own good. So we're just going to take it. That's fine. Alright, Esther 2 is going to tip his flash. Lauren's going to tip his flash because that's the aerial ray chain family. Alright, so ideally we spark chain this. But if we don't, we should still get the job done, especially with Lauren helping out. Alright, so once again, I'm on my phone, so I gotta really try to get in the zone here. I spark chained before, it's just not easy. Alright. No! I really screwed that up. Alright, so remember when I was talking earlier about trying not to reset? Well, we're gonna reset. Yeah, sorry, my video cut off there, so we're gonna have to meld these together. Alright, so what happened was I accidentally hit Lauren instead of Esther, and so I missed the mark, so I didn't kill Gilgamesh. So I know I said earlier we're going to try to do this with resets, but because of what happened, the fight is lost unless we reset. So it's a mechanic that's available to us, so we're going to take advantage of it. So a reset it is. Alright, we are coming back in from the reset. Because I messed up my chains. Now I know I messed up and hit the Lauren instead of the Esther, but still, the fact that I landed on 8% is a little worrisome. My damage might be lower than I thought, since I only have one Esther with man killers. So a spark chain might be necessary. So if that's the case, I might have to reset multiple times. And if I have to do that, then I'm just going to have to edit around this video. Alright. Enough of this. Die. Die, Mr. Gilgamesh. We are done with you. Okay, come on. Come on, spark chain this. See, that's what happens. If you miss it, it acts like a swipe. Alright, come on. That's pretty close. Alright, we got him that time. I didn't want Lauren to help. I think maybe sometimes if you get a spark chain, but then you do a third unit, that can actually mess the spark chain up. So they handled it without Lauren, which is fine. Alright, but we did get all missions accomplished. We got the 8 limit breaks cast. We did 2 dark damage, 2 lightning damage, and 2 ice damage. As you see, I did already clear this fight with all missions. And I did it exactly like that. Exactly what you just saw is the method I used to get this done the first time. So, you know, it works. So even if I did maybe miscount, it is still doable. So hopefully that helps. And the 60% method might be more in range for some of you than 80%. So with Gladiolus, you can see that he enables us to do 2 phases of this fight without having to worry about all that elemental mumbo jumbo mess. No rainbow whip needed or anything like that. Alright, so I'll see you guys later.